So if you watch this video, you will see how I build a progressive web app in 48 hours. So why am I even learning to code? I'm a UX UI designer and a web designer. I want to learn to code so I will become better as a web developer, but also so I can build my own microservice projects in the future, either on my own or within a small team. So it's not necessarily to be the best at coding, but it's to be able to utilize AI, but also still understand what I'm building so I can ask the AI to do what I want. But how am I actually approaching learning to code? So I'm using something called Scrimba V2, and it's not a paid partnership or anything, but I really like the hands-on experience. I'm best when I'm doing hands-on learning, so doing exercises and being able to actually get it under my skin, so to say. And Scrimba is really good at that. They have something called Scrimba V2, which is a new product where you are actually coding within the video editor. I have no idea how they made it, but it's really cool. And so far I'm 17% through the full-on course on front-end development. So in the first part of the course, I learned how to code in Vanilla JS, and then I also learned how to set up a Firebase Database. And then I got really impatient because I got the idea of then building a progressive web app for me and my friends when we were playing paddle. And then when I started the idea, I had 1 week until our next match, and I wanted to bring the app so I could track the scores, so we could have the database of all of the results. The only problem was I wasn't really capable of building it fully on my own, or maybe I was, but it would take a lot of time. So I wanted to utilize AI to be able to build it, but then I were setting up 2 constraints. It had to be built in Vanilla JS, so I was able to learn from it and be able to read it and make changes on my own, because that's what I learned so far. It had to use the real-time database in Firebase. Okay, so the idea of the app is the paddle app for me and my friends. So if we go ahead and look at the computer, I will show you the design. So this is the design in Figma, and if you know something about UX UI, you probably should never just jump straight to the design, but this was a quick challenge, so I just had to get going. And the whole design part was also just a quick fun project for me. But the first screen is the home screen for the other guys in the app, so they could see the last results, and then you would be able to click in. You could even see with some green or red here which of the game was lost and won. And then you would also be able to see some sort of ranking. If you then went ahead and clicked into one of the matches, you would be able to see a bit more about the match, so how the exact score went, and also if there were any streams or highlights from the game. And then I also had to create a admin dashboard where I could see all of the matches and then edit them, and also be able to create a new match. And let's just say that the admin part, I didn't do much of the design, but I also wanted it to just function, and then the other part, which was the results and the ranking and the match itself, would be somewhat designed. But this was also just to give ChatGPT something to look at, but also for me to have some sort of idea of where the app would go. And then I also started doing some player profile design, but I haven't implemented it, but maybe we could try and do that in this video. So now it was time to actually build the app, but how did I actually manage to build it? So if we go ahead again and look at the computer, I can try to show you my approach to doing this as fast as possible. As I said, I had some constraints. It had to be in Vanilla JS, and it also had to use the Firebase real-time database. But with that in mind, I went ahead and opened up ChatGPT. So if we look at ChatGPT, and not that my computer is running out of battery, you can see this is the chat. I started it, and it's actually written in Danish, but I went ahead and explained what I wanted. And then if you look at the scroll bar to the right, you can see I just wrote, and it gave me so many different files and code and whatnot. And thankfully, I didn't know how to implement it in VS Code, which is a code editor. and then implement it from there. But the approach was just writing back and forth, and then I just implemented it in the VS Code. So I have these files, no structure at all. It was just fast, and then I just implemented it from there. And it's actually like an easy approach in a way, but let's try and open up the live server. So if it works, sometimes it doesn't work. This is also a part of coding. So this is the ugly admin part of it, and it's actually made for mobile, but I will show you later on the phone itself. But as you can see, it works and functions, and when I click in, I can see the details of the match, and I can even see the stream we had when we played. So what if we try to actually implement the player info or page, so to say? So if I go back to the part here, so I want to implement, I will fast forward this so I will not talk, but okay, so I wrote that I wanted to implement a player profile page. I wanted to show player name, amount of games played, and win rate based on the data in the Firebase database. And then I wanted to give me the HTML code, the specific styling, because right now I only have one styling file, which is also very bad practice, and I'm sorry to all the developers. This is really bad practice, all of it. And then I also want the JS file. And sometimes it's nice to give them the ChatGPT a image. So if we go back to Figma, I could then go ahead and export it. So let me do that and upload it. Yes, so as you can see, I uploaded a image, and let's try and run it. And this is just the way I've done it, and sometimes it will make mistake, and then when I test it, it doesn't work, and this is where it becomes handy to know somewhat of, in my case, Vanilla JS, which is the language I'm coding in. But now it just starts generating the things I ask for, and then we will see if it works. Okay, while it's still doing the rest, I will add the player profile HTML. So just copy the code, add a new file, player profile.html, paste, and the styling here, I might have to tell it that it has to do it based on the specific page, just so it doesn't overwrite some of the initial one. I had to sneeze 3 times. This is the code for the JS file, and as you see, there are some things you need to add from your Firebase config, which I will not show, but I will try and copy it in. If it's done, copy code, then we will need to add a new, I think it was called player profile.js, and then I will quickly add the things I need with. Okay, just let's see how it initially works out. So here we have no data, but if we go back and read, it says that we need it to have this in the URL. Hey, you can see it renders out from the database. So I have the image, I have the last match, I have 2 played matches, 100% win rate, 2-1, and these are the games. And then I could, of course, enhance it more, so I could click into each of them. I could do all of the styling and whatnot, but this is just to showcase that with AI I just created the player profile. And then of course I need to enhance it a bit more, but it wasn't that hard to do. And of course this is not production ready, and this is not how you do it in real life SaaS, but it's just a fun way to quickly build something. And even though I haven't learned that much in terms of actual coding, I managed to pull this off utilizing AI. So unfortunately, my mic might have died. I accidentally put it in the washing machine, so I'm sorry if the audio is a little bit bad at the moment. Back in the rise it goes. But if we take a look at the app, you can see it's a progressive web app, so I have it here on the screen. And if I go into the admin part of it, you can see the matches, and it's not like that pretty, but I can now add a new match. So I played this Sunday, and then I just go ahead and add the players of the 2 teams. So if we do it like this, We played 3 sets. The first team here got 6 parties, I think it's called. And then if I do it too quickly, it will zoom in. So that's why I do it like this. And then we played at this arena, and then I have the stream link. So if I put it in and I click save, there's no feedback, there's no nothing. So, but if we go back, you can see the result has been added. And if I then go back to the app itself, yes, so you can see now there's 3 matches, so it updated correctly. I have 3 wins, last 5 games. And then if I go in, it has the stream, it has everything, so it works as intended. So this is how I managed to build a progressive web app in 48 hours before I had to play with my friends the week after. And now we're just tracking our games, and it's a really fun way to look back at the games. And thankfully I still have a 100% win rate. So that's very nice. If you enjoyed this type of video, consider liking and subscribing if you want more. It's completely free. And if you want more vlog style, please also let me know so I know which kind of content I should proceed making. Other than that, have a great day, and see you in the next video.